Tonight, we have the one and only Autumn Calabrese going to jump on with us and talk about her brand new program that launched. What is today's date? It's February 5th. Ultimate Portion Fix, which is basically a deep dive into Portion Fix, and it is amazing. I was in the test group and was able to shed that last little bit of baby weight, which has been so awesome. But I am super excited to dive into it with you guys tonight, answering a lot of questions that I think a lot of coaches had, like what is this program in addition to what we already have, and what is it going to entail, and how does it help my challengers, and how can it expand my knowledge. Can I turn my volume up a little? Can you guys hear me? Does that help? I don't know if that helps. I don't know if turning my computer volume up helps. Okay, cool. Yay. Let me see. Let me see where Autumn is and then message her. Don't see her name. Oh, crap. Okay. Okay, you guys can hear me. Perfect. Let me see if Autumn can log on. I am recording this to you guys, so don't worry. We'll post the recording afterwards. Let's see. Okay, I think she got it. Let me see. Okay, gotcha. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
I was just saying, I am super excited for this team call because we are going to dive into what Ultimate Portion Fix actually is. I know there's tons of questions about, what does this offer in addition to what we already have? What is kind of the next level of the program that we're going to be experiencing with this? And really just kind of get into all the details. I was in a test group and had some great results, and I learned a lot of things, actually, even after being a coach for 5 years now, that I didn't know before. That, first of all, I was a little ashamed of, but second of all, it was really enlightening. Just my personal experience, really being able to dive deeper into the containers instead of just, oh yeah, if it fits, you can eat it. It's more of, no, there's actual equations here that we have to use in order to make the program work. So I know if you guys, have had challengers who are having trouble with the program or have had it, this can really clear a lot of things up and just dive deeper into what it all means. So I'm going to let you go ahead, Autumn, and then if you guys have questions as she's chatting, you can put them in the chat box, and then I will just grab a couple after she's done that I think are kind of like the ones that encompass what I think everybody would want to hear, and then we could just do about 5 or so questions and then let you go. But go ahead.
Okay, hi guys. So thanks for jumping on with me tonight. And as Bonnie mentioned, we're talking about Ultimate Portion Fix. So we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about Ultimate Portion Fix, the home program. Ultimate Portion Fix, the certification, and then the live refilming of Fix and Fix Extreme, just so you guys have a good, well-rounded idea of what is coming at you in the next 2 months. So in terms of Ultimate Portion Fix, the home program, I think the biggest question I'm being asked really is, well, why is it different? How is it different if I've already used the containers, if I've already done 21 Day Fix or one of Autumn's other programs? What am I gaining from this? Why do I need to buy another program? And this really is the culmination of 5 years of learning and growing and knowledge and questions from all of you guys that realize, okay, this is what needs to be answered. So if you think about 21 Day Fix, when 21 Day Fix came out, that's the first time the containers were introduced to everybody. It was very much sort of a monkey say, monkey do, right? Okay, for like lack of a better term. It was like me telling you, here's these rainbow color containers, fill them up this many times, and you're gonna get great results. With not a whole lot of explanation into why they work or how they work. So for a lot of people, that's fantastic. And they're like, great, she said, do it, and I'm gonna do it. But for a lot of people, that's not enough, right? Like learning the reasons why and the science behind why something works holds them that much more accountable to sticking to the program. And so that is going to be a lot of what the home program focuses on, is really diving in to the why and the science behind why these containers work so much. And also, like I said, when 21 Day Fix came out and the containers first came out, you got to think it was very, very basic. We've grown a lot over the years, but with 21 Day Fix, it really was like, here's the containers, here's the food lists, fill them up, and that's it. There was a couple of recipes in the guidebook, and that was it, right? Well, we've grown a lot, changed a lot. There's now different ways that you can use the containers when we went on to Fix Extreme and 80-Day Obsession and Time Nutrition. So there's all this extra stuff so the containers have expanded exponentially, really, in how they can be used. So we need to put that all in one place and then dive deeper into it. And that's what's happening in the home program as well. In addition to that, we're taking on some really big topics in the home program that have to do with nutrition and why people might not be seeing results in their fitness and nutrition program, okay? So we're gonna take on emotional eating. And this is not just me saying like, oh, you're an emotional eater, so don't eat chocolate when you're emotional, eat celery. That's not what that is. This is really going into like, what is emotional eating? Why do we do it? Are we aware of it? So like bringing it to the forefront to even recognize if you're somebody that's doing it. And then let's really talk about how we can replace that bad habit of using food to cope with a healthier one and not using food to cope. And how do we start to break that bad habit? We're taking on food addiction and sugar addiction. This is a big one. And a lot of people recognize that they have a sugar addiction, and a lot of people don't, because there's so much hidden sugars in our food. So we're really diving into this topic of food addiction, and that is a big one. If you really look at the obesity epidemic that we are in the middle of and ask yourself, why in the last 70 years did we end up here, when if you look back to photos of the 1950s, we weren't there? Why are we there now? There's really good answers and really good science about why we're at where we're at. But I'll tell you what, most people don't recognize it, okay? Like, unless you geek out on nutrition and study nutrition and learn about it and learn what's happening to our food, you don't even realize, like, you think you're making healthy choices, you're doing your best to make healthy choices, and yet, without this extra knowledge, you're sort of like a hamster on a wheel, just running, but going nowhere, because you're still eating these addictive foods that are loaded with hidden sugars, so it keeps you on this vicious cycle. So we're taking on food addiction, sugar addiction, emotional eating. For the first time ever, we have finally containerized the containers for kids. And this is a really big one for me. This one I've wanted to do, obviously, for a very long time. You guys have asked about it for a very long time. How do we use these with our kids? So we're finally doing that. They've been containerized. And what I want to say to that is, this is not a diet for our kids. This is not about hey, my kid needs to lose weight, let me put them on the Ultimate Portion Fix diet. It's not that. This is healthy eating for your kids based on if they're male or female, their age, and their activity level. So if you feel your kid does need to lose weight, or the doctor has recommended that your child needs to lose weight, then that's where you would want to talk to your doctor or your child's pediatrician and say, okay, well, how many calories a day do you want them eating? And then once the doctor or pediatrician told you that amount, you could still then say, oh, okay, the doctor said 1,700 calories, and I have a 10-year-old boy. So let me find that 10-year-old boy, 1,700 calories, and then that would show you the bracket, okay? So just know that the formula that you're seeing for kids is not a weight loss formula. This is just about feeding and fueling their growing bodies. So like I said, we're taking on our kids, we're taking on families in general, and like how to get the whole family eating this way. It's one of the biggest questions I always get asked is, well, I'm using the containers, but how do I get my whole family on board? Like, everybody's sabotaging me in the house. Nobody wants to do it. So really explaining how to get the family involved, talking about how to break certain bad habits, again, that we're doing with our kids about using food as a reward or using food to comfort them when they've had a bad day, how to meal plan, meal prep, things like that. So there's a lot of different categories that we're diving into. So let me just break it down for you guys. There are 6 different modules in the home program. So there is the Foundations of Fix, that's module 1. That's where we're talking about sort of how the containers originated and a little bit of the science behind the containers. There really are 3 principles that the containers are based on. No, I'm not going to tell you what they are right now because you're going to get that in the program. But there are 3 principles that the container system is based on. So we're going to dive into what each one of those principles are. And when you have that knowledge, again, knowledge is power. That's the way I look at it. So the more you know, the more you understand, the more armed you are to make the healthier choices and to feel really good about making those healthier choices and to really think twice about not making the healthier choices. When you really recognize, like, oh, if I make this choice, these are all the ramifications that come from it, it kind of stops you dead in your tracks. So module 1 is Foundational Fix. We're talking about those 3 principles. We're talking about sugar addiction and food addiction. We're figuring out how to get to your deep why, your reason for doing the program. Your deep why is very different than just, I want to lose 30 pounds. And I get into that in a video. So, in explaining you and walking you through all the steps on how to do it. And then we go into module 2. So right now there's 3 different paths you can follow when you purchase Ultimate Portion Fix, based on whatever your goals are and sort of how you want to approach nutrition. Are you somebody who likes a little bit more flexibility, or are you somebody who likes a little bit more regimented plan? Because if you're somebody who likes flexibility, there's certain paths that you're probably not going to be as likely to choose, and that's okay. That's the beauty of the container system, is there's all these different ways you can use them. There's all these different ways your challengers can use them. So when somebody's like, well, who's it for? It's for everybody, right? Like, there is nobody that we can't reach, really. There's a few minor groups we can't reach, but in general, there's nobody we can't reach with the container system and help. So module 2, we talk about the paths and break those down so you understand how to follow each path, depending on which one you want to use. Module 3, we get into Containers 101. So module 3 is like the meat and potatoes of how to use the containers. And if you've used them before, there's a lot in here that will be a little bit repetitive for you. But as Bonnie said, sometimes when you've been using the containers for a long time, you sort of forget, oh yeah, she said this, or there's always something more that you're going to pick up on, especially when you watch these videos. So we talk about the different formulas that you can use depending on the level of exercise that you're doing, how often you're working out. We talk about how you can use the containers no matter what type of fitness you're doing. So even if it's not a Beachbody program, maybe you're a runner or a marathon or triathlete or whatever it might be. It's like, great, you can still use the container system. And that's a great way for you guys to pull in new people that maybe somebody is like, nah, I do my own fitness thing, so I'm not really into this Beachbody world. You could be like, cool, you do your own fitness thing, but what about nutrition? Let me help you with the nutrition component. And now you've got something to bring them into our world, even though they're, like I said, an Ironman runner or an Ironman person or a triathlete person or whatever it might be. So it's another way to bring more people into our community. We take a deep dive into the food list. We talk about being vegan and vegetarian. Obviously, we've had the vegan and vegetarian plan for a while, but I've personally never really gone into a video format with you guys and explained the vegan and vegetarian plan and how it differs from the regular plan, what you might need to know, how the food lists differ a little bit. So I'm getting into all of that for you guys in that module. And then we move on to module 4. And module 4 is meal prepped so you're prepped. And meal prep can really be overwhelming for a lot of people. They go on Instagram and they see these meal prep masters that have like their entire table laid out with food and every single meal planned out. And people are just like, oh, it stops them dead in their tracks. They're like, I can't do that. If that's what I have to do to be healthy, then I'm not going to do it. So really diving into meal planning for beginners. Okay, so meal planning is, how do I plan my meals for the day based on the container system and the food lists? And somebody that's a beginner at it might just be pulling items off each food list. Okay, I need a red, I need a yellow, I need a green. I'm gonna eat some chicken, I'm gonna eat some rice, I'm gonna eat some broccoli, okay? That's meal planning for beginners and how, okay, I mark off those containers and now this is what I have left for the day and now what? And then we go into meal planning advanced, and that's teaching people a little bit more how to use recipes when they're meal planning. And you might not think about that, or you might be like, well, that's easy. Yeah, it is if you really think through it. But if you're making, like, let's say you're making a fixate recipe, like you're going to make fixate enchiladas. Fixate enchiladas count towards several different containers. Some of them are half containers. So let's say you want those for dinner. Well, you need to make sure you save the right amount of containers for that meal for dinner, which means you have to actually work backwards in your day. Okay, if I'm going to make this for dinner, then what containers do I have left for the day to figure out what I can have for breakfast, snack, lunch, and snack so that I have the right containers left and I don't miss eating something. So we talk about both meal planning for beginner and advanced. And then we also talk about meal prepping, which is, you know, I went to the grocery store, I bought my groceries, now I need a meal prep. What do I do? And again, there's a couple different ways to do it. There's sort of meal prepping 5 days, which is making all your meals for 5 days, knowing exactly what you're going to eat. There's meal prepping the way I do it, which is I make items in bulk and I mix and match my food throughout the week. So we get into that and just really explaining to people how they can do that. So again, that they feel empowered to do it and not scared and frozen in their tracks. Then we move on to module 5. Module 5 is our family fix module. Okay, and that's where we're talking about what are the containers for the kids? How do we figure out the containers for the kids? I talk about 75 healthy lunch ideas for kids, which is actually an ebook I created 2 years ago that has now been moved over into the Beachbody world. And so you guys, anybody gets the program will get access to 75 healthy lunch ideas for kids. Because if you're a parent, you're probably like me and you hate packing lunches because it gets really boring really fast, and then the lunchbox comes home with food in it and you're like, oh my gosh, they didn't eat, and then you feel like a bad parent. So really trying to get the kids involved in the what do you want for lunch process and making food that they really like. This is not just like healthy food that won't appeal to kids. This is like, hey, here's Ultimate Portion Fix corn dog muffins that your kids can have that they're going to absolutely love to find in their lunchbox, but that is made significantly healthier than maybe what you would buy in the frozen food section. So stuff like that. We're talking about, in the Family Fix, there's actually a video called Food for Thought, The Psychology of Food. And in that video, I dig in a lot to how you're talking about food, how you're talking about your body in front of other family members, in front of the kids, maybe not even directly in front of the kids. Maybe you don't even realize that you're doing it. But we really get into that and what impact that has both on you, because it's negative self-talk, and replacing negative self-talk with positive self-talk, but also if your kids are watching you jump on every new fad diet, bounce from one thing to the next, talk about everything you hate about your body instead of what you like about your body, then they are going to start to mimic that. And that is going to start to develop their relationship to food as well. And so we want to be really aware of that, because a lot of times our behaviors are mimicked off of what we learned consciously or subconsciously from our parents or from whoever raised us. And so we want to make sure that we're passing on really healthy behaviors. So we're diving deep into that as well. Then we get to module 6, which is easy ways for special days. So that's covering all the different topics of like eating out while you're using the containers, traveling, holidays, special events, all that kind of stuff. All the questions you guys ask me all the time at different points in the year, right? Holidays come up and everybody asks like, how do I do it? And then summer comes up and everybody's like, how do I travel? So covering all of that information. And then we also have additional resources, videos. There's a break in case of emergency video. So like, let's say somebody's been going through the program for 2 or 3 weeks and they feel like they've hit a plateau. They can watch the break in case of emergency video where I'm telling them, okay, maybe you've hit a plateau. Let's talk about what might be happening. And I go through all the things that might be happening and how to fix it, how to address it, how to attack it. So that's a really big one. There's a video on all of the Beachbody supplements and what they count as on the container system. So Shakeology, Daily Sunshine, Beach Bars, the entire performance line. There's a special video for pre and postnatal, so whether you're pregnant or breastfeeding and how you can use the program. So there's several different formulas in there based on if you're pregnant and looking and not exercising or moderately intensity exercise, or if you're breastfeeding and you're not exercising or doing moderate intensity or vigorous. Obviously, we talk about making sure you've been cleared by your doctor for all of this stuff, but really just how do you fuel your body to be healthy, keep your milk supply up if you're breastfeeding, things like that. So that it's, again, a little bit deeper dive into how we can help that demographic of ladies, right? Like, we all want to know how to eat healthy and feed ourselves and our growing baby if they're in us, and then how to have the energy after we've had the baby and how to feel good again after giving birth and lose that baby weight. So we're digging into that. And then let's talk about some of the things that you get with the home program. So when you get the home program, you're going to get your workbook. This is your Ultimate Portion Fix workbook. So this is meant for you to go through while you watch the videos. Like the way the workbook is designed is module by module. It's all in here. And there's a place for you to take notes based on each module. Your worksheets are in here for you based on like, oh, okay, great. Like I'm trying to figure out my calculation. Well, great. All the different calculations are in here for you. How to figure out your why. There's like a mind mapping sheet in there. So there's lots of stuff in the workbook for you to use the workbook side by side while you go through the videos. Ultimate Portion Fix is a little bit different than a fitness program because typically when you get a fitness program, you get the program and you start, right? Like you get the workout program and you push play and you do day 1. Okay. Well, there's kind of 2 start dates to Ultimate Portion Fix. There's the day you start watching your videos, and then there's the day you actually start implementing what you learned and using your containers. Now, for a lot of you guys are coaches. Like I said, you've probably used the containers before. So maybe you're already using them right now. So you might just keep using them while you're learning the information. But for somebody who's brand new to the containers, never used them before, or maybe hasn't used them in 5 years since 21 Day Fix came out, you really want to make sure they get through at least modules 1 through 3 before they start trying to use the containers again. Because those first 3 modules are really going to give them the science, the why behind why the containers work. It's going to teach them all about the food lists, how to use their containers, freebies, substitutions, when they can have treats, how they can have wine, how they can have chocolate, how to do their formula, all of that stuff. So it's going to be really important for them to get through at least module 3 before they start using the containers. And then obviously you also want to encourage them to not stop at module 3, but to watch 4, 5, and 6 as well, even once they start using the containers, if that's how you choose to do it. So we have the workbook. Then we also get the logbook. So your Ultimate Portion Fix logbook. So this is meant for you to use once you start using your containers, okay? And it's a 30-day book. So it's meant for you to be able to track everything that you're doing with your containers. And this is really set up, it's set up to make you guys think. Like, that's really important to me. So there's questions at the beginning of your logbook just to make you think before you even get started about What is your ultimate goal with the portion fix? What's your why for doing this? What do you need to let go of to reach your goals? What do you need more of in your life to reach your goals? Like, the only way you really conquer nutrition and you control food and it doesn't control you is to take a deeper look at yourself and how you're using food. Because food really shouldn't be anything other than fuel for your body. Of course, you want to enjoy it while you're eating it, but we put all these other things on it. It's celebration, it's mourning, it's coping, it's this, it's that, and we have to remove that if you want to have control over your food. Okay. So in the logbook, it shows you just how to do your before and after measurements. There's even a place if you wanted to print out your weekly photos, progress photos, and like paste them or tape them in there so that you're not always scrolling through your phone to find them. Then we go into, you guys hold on 2 seconds. I'm at the office and my son is calling. Sorry. Yes, buddy. Hey, Dom, mommy's on a work call, so I'm going to call you back, okay? I love you. Sorry, guys. Just needed to make sure everything was okay and it got picked up from school. Okay, so then you're going to have your morning mindfulness, and these are just some questions for you to check in the morning about how you're feeling that day. Then there's a place for you to track your food every day, and you're not only tracking your food, you're going to track your how'd you sleep? What's your mood? How's your energy? All your meals? Did you drink your Shakeology? Did you work out? If so, how'd the workout go? How'd you feel? And then you have evening reflections, which is to sort of look at your day and be like, what went really well? What was a little bit of a challenge? What did I learn today that I maybe want to remember for tomorrow? So there's all these different things in your logbook to really guide you through it. And like I said, to make you think about what your relationship is to food and then how your relationship with food is changing as you go through the program. You'll also, okay, so you get those two things. 75 Healthy Lunch Ideas is a PDF, so you'll have access to that, but that's a PDF. Depending on the challenge pack that you buy, there is a lunch box, a new lunch box, like a travel bag, significantly better than the original 21-day fix, like little tote bag that they did. This is like a really cool lunch box that I helped them design to make taking your food with you easier. I know I'm always out of the house and I have like this massive lunch box. It's kind of a pain in the butt to carry. So this is a little bit more compact, but still fits several meals. So you could possibly get that. There's the new cookbook. So there's a Fix8 Volume 2 cookbook with 102 brand new recipes that will be available as well. And that's really sort of the bulk of what the home program is, okay? Now, then there's the certification. And the certification is, I think the certification is what I'm even more excited about for you guys, especially. And here's what I like to say about the certification. Okay. Certification is to new coaches what 21-day fix is to new challengers. So what I mean by that is, for the last 5 years, coaches have said to me, oh my gosh, any new challenger I get, the first program I put them on is 21-day fix. Like, that is the go-to, 30 minutes modifier, nutrition. They learn to use the containers. That's what I put any new challenger on first to make sure they have great success. Makes my heart very happy. Okay, so now I want you to think about Ultimate Portion Fix certification as that for new coaches. So imagine you get a new coach signed up. They have no idea what this business is all about, right? And it's detailed. Like, I still don't fully understand exactly how everything works for you guys as coaches. When it's like, okay, you need this many things to get Success Club and this many things for this. There's a lot, and it can get overwhelming for a new coach. Ultimate Portion Fix certification is the perfect thing to get them started with, because the containers go with every program we have, plus any program that's not ours, right? So even if they're doing something else, they're still going to want to know how to speak about the containers, how to use the containers, how to market containers to new people that they're speaking to. And there's a ton of training that's going to happen in the certification. So the way the certification works is you cannot get access to it without also buying the home. Like you have to have at least purchased the home program too. Okay. So you can't just buy the certification. You have to buy home program and cert. You can buy them at separate times, but you have to have bought the home program. Because the way I designed this certification is that it's video for video, basically. So you watch home program video 1, you watch certification video 1. You watch home program video 2, cert video 2. And the reason I did this was I really wanted you guys to be aware of what your challengers were hearing, which is the home program video, and then come over to your cert video where I break it down for you. Okay, you just heard me talk about sugar addiction in the home program. Here's the questions you're going to be asked, things that you're going to come up against. Here's how you're going to answer those questions. Here's more worksheets that you have access to help your challengers, to provide your challenger if they get stumped. I wanted to make sure I gave you guys, the coaches, additional resources. So obviously they all have, everybody gets the homework book, but then there's 15, 18 more worksheet pages that you guys get, and they're in PDF form in the certification. And I did that for a reason, so that you guys can download them quickly, easily. You can screenshot them if you want. You can upload them into your challenge group and say like, hey, print this out, fill it out. See, you know, are they struggling with figuring out what their I is? They can do the food and feelings deep dive questionnaire. Are they trying to figure out where their food addiction lies? They can do the clarity and action questionnaire. So you're gonna, yes, you can purchase them at the same time. Obviously, they're both gonna launch at the exact same time, and you're gonna want to watch video for video so that you hear at home in the home program, and then you learn from me how to take that information and help your challengers that much more. In addition to that, there is the challenge group guide. Now, there's a challenge group guide in the home program that always comes with a challenge group guide, okay? But the one that's in the certification is the one that I've written specifically for you guys. Obviously, I've run a couple challenge groups myself over the years. And so this is me teaching you how exactly to run an ultimate portion fix challenge group. Like, here's how you can invite to it. And there's actually a social media guide for you to reference. Like, hey, we just talked about sugar addiction. Here's how you take what you learned in the sugar addiction video and turn it into an Instagram story to invite people to your challenge group. And that, for a lot of people, is going to, I think, be a really big deal, because a lot of people get stuck. Like, oh my God, I'm learning all this stuff, but how do I use it to invite people to my group? So there's a social media guide. So you can look at that. I've given 5 different examples there, and how to create these stories. And then, like I said, there's your challenge guide. So we're talking about how to invite to the challenge group starting 3 weeks before. And then I literally give you sample posts every single day for 30 days. And you're going to want to run your group in 30-day increments. And the reason I say 30 days is there is no end to Ultimate Portion Fix. That's actually one of the perks about this program, and I think why it will prove to be so beneficial to so many people. With fitness programs, there's an end date, right? 21-day fix, you're done in 21 days. 80-day obsession, you're done in 80 days. And a lot of people get to that end date, and they don't only stop the workout, they stop the nutrition that they were just doing with it. So there's no end date on Ultimate Portion Fix. Running your challenge groups in 30-day increments, and that's really just so you can have a screenshot, like here's day 1, here's day 30. But then the next one starts right up. Here's day 30, here's day 60, here's day 60, here's day... So they keep going. There's really no end date on the program. You don't just stop at 30 days. This is a way of eating for life. So knowing exactly like what types of topics to talk about, sample posts that you can put in your challenge group. I even am giving you business tips each week. Like, here's what you're talking about in your challenge group, but here's what you can be focusing on in your business as a coach to get ready for the next thing. Get ready for the next group. Here's when you should start inviting again. Here's when you should start looking for potential new coaches, right? If you've got somebody in your group that's sharing and talking and encouraging people, that's somebody to keep track of. That's somebody that might be your next future coach. And for a lot of coaches that have been in the business and are very successful, some of that might be a little bit like, of course, yes, I know that. But I think for a lot of people, it'll still be like a little bit of a refresher or, oh, okay, I'm stuck for something to post today. Let me see what Autumn said. But I think for our new coaches or newer coaches, that's going to be a really valuable tool for them, where maybe they get a little overwhelmed with the thought of running a challenge group, or they don't know how to keep people engaged in the challenge group. And that's obviously a thing of what we want to do. We want to keep them engaged. The more engaged they are, the more likely they are to have success. The more success they have, the more success you're going to have, because they become your walking business card, right? Like, they're walking around like, hey, I look so good. I feel so good. Like, this is how I did it. You should call my coach, or you should reach out to my coach. So, those are the 3 components of the CERT. You've got your CERT videos, you've got your social media guide, and then you've got your challenge group guide. And then we have the Master Series, okay? So the Master Series is ongoing continuity for certification, okay? And this is super exciting. There's some really cool stuff that we're doing with this. So every single month, there will be brand new content that goes into the Master Series. And it'll be everything from questions and answers with me, if there's like something that keeps coming up or a specific topic. There will be guest interviews where I bring on specialists or like experts in certain fields that can talk about certain topics, where I'll interview them. There's going to be more business training in there, which some of that will be from me. Some of that might be from Carl. Some of that might be from some of our top coaches over time that start to have a lot of success with using Ultimate Portion Fix to grow their business. There will be more social media training in there. Obviously, social media is a changing monster beast, if you will, constantly, right? Like, one day Facebook has this algorithm and the next day it has this one. So there will be ongoing social media training, even about like, hey, this is the new thing, or this is the new platform, and this is how you can use it to keep growing your business and to invite and things like that. Or just, hey, here's 3 new sample posts of what to put on Instagram in your feed or in your story, or that sort of thing. Because I think a lot of people said they kind of get stuck in the invite process. And what else do I say? And how do I share this information? So there will be a lot that goes on in the Master Series. One of the cool features that so with the Master Series is that, so when you get certified as a coach, your title is Ultimate Portion Fix Master Coach. If you stay on Master Series for 12 consecutive months, you get leveled up. So you become Master Coach Level 1. If you stay on Master Series for 24 consecutive months, you become Master Coach Level 2, and so on and so forth. And you'll get an e-badge sent to you every 12 months. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be like January to January. It's just 12 consecutive months. You'll get your e-badge. It can go on your website. You can post it on social media, wherever you want to use it. But you'll get leveled up because you're doing ongoing education. And we want to make sure that you get to recognize that title for yourself. The certification does count towards continuing education credits for people like that are NASM or ACE certified or APA certified. So you will get continuing education credits towards that. I believe the Master Series will also be able to provide continuing education credits, but I'm not sure just yet. They're still working out those details. So that is the Master Series. And then the last thing I want to talk to you guys about before I take questions is the refilming of 21 Day Fix and Fix Extreme. So first of all, the refilming of 21 Days Fix starts on April 1st. The way you get access to it, the only way you get access to the live filming is to purchase Ultimate Portion Fix, the home program. You can also purchase certification, but you got to purchase the home program to get access to it. So for coaches, Ultimate Portion Fix goes on sale March 4th. And then for general public, Ultimate Portion Fix goes on sale March 18th. So as long as somebody buys Ultimate Portion Fix between March 4th and March 30th, you will get access to the live filming of 21 Day Fix and 21 Day Fix Extreme. If you miss out and you don't purchase in that window, you will eventually get access to them in the member library, but it won't be until, I believe, the middle of June. So if they miss it, they're not going to get access to it right away. Or it can't be like, oh, I bought April 1st or April 2nd, can I still get in? It'll be a hard shutdown on that one. So that's how you get access. with 21 Day Fix and Fix Extreme, they are being filmed live and in real time. And it'll be a little bit similar to 80 Day Obsession, where it's those same 7 workouts, okay, from 21 Day Fix or Fix Extreme. I am tweaking them slightly, not a lot. We're sticking fairly close to the regular program. But with 80 Day Obsession, we had the same moves, but week to week, I could progress them a little bit. We can make them a little bit harder. It's not going to follow the exact same kind of pattern that 80 Day Obsession did, but it has that progression where I can challenge you a little bit more each week so that you get even better results, even faster results, even stronger, better endurance. So they will feel like newer workouts as you go through those. But they are not completely new moves. Because I'm getting asked that question a lot. Like, oh, are they 7 brand new workouts? They're not totally brand new. They are based off of the old workouts, but we are updating them, if you will. So that is how that will go. And there will be an Ultimate Portion Fix certification coach group, okay? So for anybody who purchases certification in that same time frame, I'm not giving you guys specific dates on this stuff because I'm going to let Beachbody marketing team distribute that information to you guys. There's a lot of different dates in here for like when you buy, when one challenge group starts, when the next one starts. Because there's 2 different groups. There is the certification coach group. And in that group, I will be teaching you guys specifically, like we'll be going through the certification program so that as you guys go through certs, if you have questions for me or like, hey, I've got somebody and they're asking this, how do I coach them through that? Like that's what that group will be for. But then there will also be the Ultimate Portion Fix home program coach test group that also goes along with the filming of 21 Day Fix and Fix Extreme. So there's 2 different groups 2 different coach groups that are going to happen with the launch of the program. So I think that's everything. I know it's a lot of information. There's a lot of fun stuff coming our way. So Bonnie, do you have questions for me?
Yeah, thank you so much. That was so much info, but so awesome. Let me see. I know that people were typing questions, but you were answering them as people were typing.
Okay.
So that was good. So there's a lot of questions about if you know what the cost will be for the programs yet.
So here's the thing. There is going to be a lot of different packages because there's going to be the home program, base package, challenge package. Do you want to add a lunchbox? Do you want to add this, right? The add-ons, okay? Then there's also going to be the combo pack of home program plus cert. I also believe there's going to be a home program cert / master series combo. I will tell you this. If you're thinking about getting certified, that's going to be the combo pack you want. The home program cert plus master series. Because while I don't have the exact price, I do know that Carl basically slashed the certification price on that particular combo to practically like free. I mean, literally, I think it might be like $20 or $30 that you get charged when you buy that particular package. So basically, just by signing up for Master Series, which is only $20 a month, and you can obviously cancel that at any time, you're essentially getting the certification for like practically nothing. It's not free, but it is significantly cheaper. I do know that the certification on its own is going to be somewhere around $100, give or take. I know they're still working on some pricing stuff. So, and same thing with home program. It'll be somewhere around the $100 to $120 price point. They haven't finalized all those packages yet, which is why I haven't gone into detail on that.
And then this kind of goes along with that, but someone's asking, so once the initial launch phase is over, will this be handled like 2B Mindset was for new people coming into On Demand?
What do you mean by that?
So I know there's a $20 monthly fee, but if new people purchase On Demand, will this be kept separate after the launch period like 2B Mindset? So I guess she's asking, because 2B Mindset, you don't automatically get that when you purchase God after the first 6-month period. Is that how this is going to be as well?
Yeah. The nutrition programs are still considered standalone programs. So they're not, you'll have to purchase it at any point to get access to it. It won't ever go into the member library as free content. It will always be a
Will it be? Okay, I get that one already. Will you dive into specifics on gluten-free alternatives for breads, pastas, etc.?
That's covered quite a bit in the Fixate cooking show. So no, I don't have a specific video on that in the home program. That might be something that gets added to Master Series, and that's the beauty of Master Series. If we see certain questions coming up over and over, we can add that topic in each month. But we do talk about those substitutions quite a bit in the cooking show Fixate. Like if we're cooking with a pasta, it's usually like a gluten-free, or we say like, oh, you can use zoodles instead, or things like that. There is a gluten-free bread recipe on the Fixate cooking show. And there's some new recipes for even like biscuits, gluten-free biscuits in the new cookbook and stuff like that. So it's in there, but it's more in the context of the cooking show and cookbooks right now.
Perfect. We'll do like maybe 2 or 3 more questions. Will there be an app for the logbook? That would be awesome.
Eventually, yes. So right now on the Nutrition Plus app, you can track your containers, and you will still be able to do that come launch. Eventually, it will be, the way the app will work, will literally be like, you can put in everything. Like, hey, this is the path I'm choosing. And then it will do your formula for you. It'll show you the number of containers you get. It'll tell you when to recalculate, all that stuff. But that takes a lot of programming. And so it's just not, that part isn't there yet. So you can still track containers in the Nutrition Plus, but not yet can you track sort of everything that the logbook allows you to do. But eventually, yes, that should be happening.
Okay. There are several questions about when you guys are filming 21 Day Fix and 21 Day Fix Extreme live. Are you doing them back to back?
No. It will be 3 weeks. Well, yes and no. So it'll be 3 weeks, obviously, of 21 Day Fix. Then we take a week off, and then we start filming 21 Day Fix Extreme. So it won't be like, oh, we filmed a Fix workout and then a Fix Extreme. And it won't be like, okay, Sunday we finished 21 Day Fix yoga, and Monday we start 21 Day Fix Extreme cardio. We get a week off in between the filming process.
Okay. And then the last question, what would you say the major difference is between this certification and 2B Mindset certification in terms of how we can best help our challengers with each program that they choose? I know they have the choice of picking 2B Mindset or the containers. Do you feel like this would be more beneficial than purchasing the 2B Mindset certification? Maybe just how they differ. Maybe.
Yeah. So a couple things. One, it's going to be really important for you as a coach. Really, honestly, you guys, you should be certified in both programs because you're a Beachbody coach and that's your job. And for you to be the best at your job, you should have all the knowledge and all the tools that we provide you guys. Because you're going to get challengers that should do 2B Mindset. Like that would be the appropriate program for them. And you're going to get challengers that should use the containers because that's the appropriate program for them. You won't know that if you haven't done both, learned both, and actually know the components of both. I will say this. I don't know a lot of 2B Mindset certification, and there's a reason for that. I have purposely not watched 2B videos, certs, anything, because in this for literally since before 80-day obsession, and then I took a little break during 80-day, and then we went back to it. And it was not anything against 2B or Alana. I just, when you hear something from somebody, I didn't want to see how she designed it. I just wanted to be in my bubble and design Ultimate Portion Fix the way I believe that it should be designed for you guys, with no sort of outside influences at all. So I haven't watched that stuff yet. Now that we're coming to the end of this, I will be able to finally sit down and watch it and see, so I can speak a little bit better about the differences. from what I've heard, and this is again me just going off of sort of what I've heard from coaches with 2B Mindset, I do think the Ultimate Portion Fix certificate is significantly more detailed in terms of how to use it and how to help a challenger use it. Like I'm really going into I'm really speaking to you guys like, hey, this is what you just heard. This is what they just learned. Everything you're going to be met with, and here's how you're going to handle those situations. And like I said, having extra worksheets that only you have access to so that you can provide them, having the challenge group guide that I wrote, having the social media guide that I've designed for you guys based off of like what I've done, what I've seen other great people do when they're creating posts that are getting a lot of traction and stuff like that. So I think they're different because they're different programs. Like we're different people with sort of different philosophies, so they're going to be different no matter what. I see that somebody was saying, what's the difference between this and the 2 Mindset Cert? And that they were saying, do you get lifetime access to the home program? Yes, you do get lifetime access to the home program. You get lifetime access to the certification as well. The only thing you don't have lifetime access to is the Master Series unless you're paying for that. Like that's the ongoing continuity. And the Master Series ongoing continuity, I believe, is $20 a month, $19.99. So that's really the big thing with 2B is just it's based on her philosophy. This is based on my philosophy. You're going to want to know, does somebody like a little bit more structure? Obviously, you would probably want to gear them more towards the containers. Or does somebody like the ability to have a little bit more freedom, a little bit more wiggle room?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I feel like from a coach's standpoint, it's more of 2B is for the person who doesn't want to feel like they're being coached or put in a box of, this is what you should and should not eat. But for me personally, the portion fix is more, okay, no, here's the science behind it. And here's technically what you should be eating every day and why. So for me, it's like for someone who wants to be more dialed in and needs those clear, concise instructions, that would be the way that I would push someone. And vice versa. So really knowing your challengers is going to be super important. But thank you so much, Autumn, for spending some time with us and giving us some details about everything. We really, really appreciate you and everything that you do for us and have done for us and will continue to. And we're really happy and excited for the program. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you guys so much. Have a great night. And let's get ready for March 4th. I think it's going to be a big month for everybody.
See you guys.
Have a good night.